all I'm gonna say, man. You got to be consistent. It's lonely at the top, and that's what the Liberty is saying right now. Because after that call, I'm not gonna start off with the negative. You're gonna start off with the positive. Liberty won their first WNBA title in their franchise history last night, defeating the Minnesota Lynx 67-62 in overtime. And some would say, man, this game was more entertaining than watching Russ throw touchdowns. Well, I would say that because I don't like the Steelers. But neither here nor there. Guys, we got to react to it. You know, we've been talking about the WNBA all season. Joe, we talked about this on Friday. I think it was Friday episode. We did the quick news and saying how, hey, our reactions to it. And for this one to go 5, even the announcer said something that I thought about. I wish it was going 7 this year because this would have been a perfect year for it to go 7. So, Joe, Dave, what's your reaction to the WNBA? I mean, the Liberty winning their first championship.
Shout out to the New York Liberty for winning their first championship in franchise history. They definitely have played great all year long. Shout out to Kayla McBride for the Minnesota Lynx, who actually balled out in Game 5 last night, put up 21 points. She was basically the star of the game. Outside of that, I feel like the Lynx kind of sort of they gave the game away, especially in the third quarter. After they were up 7 at the halftime, they held Breonna Stewart to. They was pretty much playing really good defense on her, and then third quarter came, and then New York started to turn up. They outscored them by 10, and then of course they forced overtime, and then in overtime they pretty much just took over. There was a controversial call that was given for the game to go to overtime, but that's neither here nor there. But the Lynx, man, they just like I said, I feel like they gave that game up. They had opportunities to really win that game after how well they played in the first half, and they kind of just didn't play in that same energy in the second half. We had was it Nafisha Collier didn't really do what we expected her to do. She did put up 22 points in that game, but she was a -1 and plus minus. Um, Only had 7 rebounds and out the game. Um, she had 2 blocks, which was really good, but she fouled out the game. She had 6 fouls that didn't help her out at all. Carlton also had 5 fouls. They got into foul trouble, and they just pretty much they had the Liberty had 4 people in double figures. Breonna Stewart had 13. John Corey Jones had 17. Someone else had 13, and then off the bench, they got some bench help. Was Sabely had 13. So this was a great series. Don't get me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I really wish it went 7. But we get to see that next year. We get to see that next year for sure. Along with the new team being added into the to the WNBA, so that's gonna be exciting as well. And then we have, I think, 2 more teams coming in the year after that, which is going to be really good. So the WNBA has a lot to be excited about. They did have some breaking news today as well. They're now out of the CBA, so next year will be the last year in that CBA, so they have a year to negotiate that. And they should have done that because they need to be asking for more money. They got more TV deals. They starting to get more views and stuff. They're in a lot more commercials and stuff. So hey, do what you can to get more money so you ladies can get paid. But this was a great series. Like I said, shout out to New York Liberty for getting there. I still feel like the Lynx should have won this game if it wasn't for how they played in the third quarter. To me, that was very crucial. Giving up that lead in the third, and they had to fight and crawl their way back in the fourth, and that shouldn't have been the case if they continued to play the way they did in the first half.
That's a fact, Joe.
All right. So I also want to say, welcome back, Dave. Good to have you here. I also want to say congrats to New York Liberty bringing a championship to New York since the other teams couldn't do it. Shout out to them. Shout out to Sabrina for hitting the game-winning shot on Game 3, the game-winning 3, to go up 2-1. And like Dave said, I wish it would have. I wish they had a 7-game series. Like he said, they're going to add it next year. So I'm looking forward to that. Shout out to Breonna Stewart for having a Kobe moment. When I say Kobe moment, she didn't shoot well, but she had her career high. She had 15 rebounds. So I want to give her that. That right there shows a lot of effort. But I gotta give it to my, you know who I like on this team, Jonquel Jones,
John Quill.
MVP, MVP, deservingly so. I thought New York could have won that game in regulation if they use her more, if they fed her the ball more. Early that game, Minnesota blitzed them, and Jonquel Jones was literally the only one that was settling in everything. Y'all know she was for the whole series. She was 56% from the field, 42 from three, 100% from the free throw line. 50 49 50 40 100 in the finals. She was 19 for 19 from the free throw line the whole WNBA finals. And they were not feeding her the ball. Like, I don't have numbers in front of me, but I could guarantee you Sabrina and Brianna probably took 20 more shots than her. So, and they both didn't shoot well. That's all Sabrina yesterday. She like 1 for 18, 1 for 19. Just throwing the joint out. I'm like, bro, give it to Jonquel. Like, she the one that's cooking. She a mismatch. But neither hit on there. Shout out to her. I'm going to talk about it, Tom. I'm sorry. That was nah. I know everybody keeps saying, listen, you know, they should have took care. I heard people say they should have took care of business in Minnesota the first time when they lost, when Sabrina hit the game winner.
Come on, the call.
Huh?
The call?
Yeah, the call. I'm on the call. Yeah, I'm going to talk the call. That was clearly a block. It started there. That was not a foul. I don't want to hear people say, oh, they still had a chance in overtime. Bro, you got to realize the WNBA finals. This team is good that we're going against. They got 3 MVP caliber players on their team. So, obviously, we're not going to be perfect. And yes, we dropped one in Minnesota. They dropped one in New York. We beat them in New York. Don't forget that. We both won a road game. We came on a road in game 5, did everything we had to do. We got the lead, and we played perfect defense on Breonna Stewart, and they called foul. Not only that, y'all, they reviewed the call and upheld the call. That's frustrating if you're a player. And this is a W. This is game. It's it. Now I get it. Overtime. Like, they still could have won, but it should never got to that point. But I don't want to take away nothing from New York because I always say referees are part of the game. They just are. They part of the story. I mean, it's as my Sacramento Kings team in 2001. They part of the story. They part of history. But shout out to Liberty. Shout out to Nafisa. They need to feed you the ball more late in down the stretch. They went away from you a lot, I feel like, because you had a great start, but they went away from you a lot down the stretch. And she fouled out, knew she wanted to cry on the bench. I felt bad for her, I ain't gonna lie. But shout out to New York Liberty. They got the job done.
I think also they just got winded. And when I say they got winded, I mean more so Minnesota, because again, going up against those 3 MVPs, yes, Sabrina did not have the best night, but when it's that 1-3 went in, I was like, I said New York winning now. They just need to see that. That done lit the whole arena up. Breonna Stewart, man, she was balling. She was balling. She was fighting too. But I'm with you on Joe. I'm with you on that one though, Joe. I was like, if they would have fed Jonquel more, they would have won this game. They probably would have won the series flat out, because there was times where they was going away from her to make sure that Sabrina could go off or make sure that Breonna was doing her thing. And it was just like Jonquel was the consistency within this team that they needed throughout. Even watching last night, what you said about the mismatch, every time she got the ball in the paint, they already knew they had to double team her. So that right there lets you know that if you throw it down to her and probably pitch it back out to somebody, they're going to hit a 3, because Minnesota had the perfect game plan to try to take her out, but she was still balling. The call you talking about with the block, I was more so thinking about the clip half that they called back and said it was a common foul.
What? Exactly. My bad. Cut you off.
Nah, but that was the one I thought you was going to say. I was looking like, wait. I was like, they better not call it travel, because she clearly can't even do nothing with the ball. They holding her up and she just walking with the ball. I'm like,
they reviewed that too.
And came back and said, yeah, we're going to call it a common foul. I was like, ooh, the fix is in, y'all. The fix is in. But at the end of the day, we can talk about all of that, because at the end of the day, there's always 2 sides to a story. But New York ended up showing up in overtime, because when overtime kicked in, that's when they got their fresh legs. And Breonna missing those 2 crucial free throws. She had a bad night at the free throw line. I think she was like, before that, she was 1 for 4, and it was bad. But shout out to New York. They did something that the Mystics did. You know, I was shocked when I heard that. I said, the Mystics won one before them? Oh, hold up now. Shout out to DC. We doing something right over here. I ain't talking about the football team. I'm talking about the basketball team. Again, I think this has just showed you where the league is going, because one, that game was great. The attendance was great. If you watch the people in the crowd in the arena that was in Brooklyn, turning up for this Liberty team lets you know that the WNBA is definitely in good hands. And I want to say one more thing, Dave. I know you gotta put somebody in the doghouse. I'm gonna give you somebody, my nominee. I seen Angel Reese was at the game.
Yeah, she was.
Now come now. There's
You see
things
what
going.
she had on?
Yes,
Oh my goodness.
I said, is it basketball or do you want to be a celebrity? Like, what's going on here? Like, I know you want to watch the game, but at some point when she found her way in the camera, I was like,
Yeah.
bruh.
It's
Stop
clear
hugging.
what she it's clear what she wants to me in my eyes.
Yeah. I was like, man, you had me fighting with Joe and you out here doing this.
Man, me too.
I ain't say nothing. I saw. I was like, okay.
Well,
Yeah,
look,
yeah.
I'm gonna get my get back in the
though.
last. I'm gonna get my get back in the last segment because I seen you say something in the NFL chat about a certain GM.
Oh.
But as we move forward to talking about GMs, and again, hats off to the Lady Liberties for doing their thing. They got the best mascot, and now they got one of the best teams in the WNBA.
I know. I don't know what you did, Dave.
Oh, I hope you're talking about what you saying. You see what she had on. Y'all ain't see what she had on. I think that's the line they talking about.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they ain't see what she had on.
All right, y'all all gonna talk about that, man. Let it go, man. The Wizards gonna have a decent year. I got to start off with the team. It's basketball season.
Oh, you sound like Carl.
Hey,